and see. And it's more of a sneak peek right now, so that we show you what we have created. And Supratim is the mastermind behind this. So he will share his screen and walk you through. And as we do that, there would obviously be places where we would need to ask you questions, and you have a look at that and see how ASAP will be able to start using LAMP as the platform for the future learning forward academic programs. And then let's see how people find this useful as we go along. Over to you, Supratim.
Right. Thank you, Jishnu. Good evening, Chairman sir, and thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for arranging this and for ensuring that we finally record the session. So without further ado, let me try and share my screen.
Supratim, you want to switch your camera off to save some bandwidth?
I will do that. Frozen. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah. Okay. So is the screen visible now, Jishnu?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So this, gentlemen, is the landing page for the LAMP application, as it were. And what we have tried to do is to customize it for Elfin. And right now, we have not mapped it to any domain. As you can see, we're going with a raw IP number. But we can, based on mutual discussion, have an appropriate domain and map it to it. So having said that, the landing page has a couple of parts to it. So the first part obviously is the access to login and so on and so forth. And then we have this announcement sticker. So we can have appropriate announcements running here.
So Pratham, just a sec. So Pratham, can you just check if you're on the right tab?
I am on the right tab. Shall I share this?
Okay, because
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you were seeing that.
We were seeing the edTree one. We want to see the learning forward one. You're on the right tab
I'm
now.
So sorry.
Yeah, you're on the right tab now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So I'm so sorry. So what we did was we customized the whole front landing page experience. We put in announcements here where announcements from the academy can come on, and these can be customized over, and any number of announcements can run. We have initially tried and put in a slider here with some text, and these obviously are subject to change and so on and so forth. And we can discuss with Sandeep how this goes. And what we saw in the academy site, we just put up here, but we used our own visuals and so on. So joy of learning, building innovative schools, and so on and so forth. And we have hosted this video here also about the Learning India Foundation. So if there's any change or anything else that we want to be put up here as the first landing page, that's possible, obviously, to be done. So having said that, anyone who hits the site gets into the login button, and you'll notice that the entire site sports the colors of Learning Forward India Foundation colors, of the main colors, orange, green, and blue. So everywhere where you see buttons and everywhere else, or hover effects, everything has our brand color there, Elfin brand cover. So when one comes into the application, you are presented with a login screen, and you'll have to enter with your own credentials. I will enter with a higher administrator credential just for now, but every user would have his or her credentials running on this. So as promised, Sandeep, what we did was we stripped the entire system and made it extremely, we made it bare bones, and then we plugged stuff in which we thought would be useful. So as we go down, there are different parts to this landing page, which we call the dashboard page. So what you have is the navigation bar here, or to help us navigation. What you see by Doon Girls School and Fab India and John Martin School, we will come to it. Then there is a calendar which is customizable for you. So every calendar will have events. So one can plan for events, and let's say the event is an upcoming one. This is already past the 10th of April. So it won't appear in the upcoming events, but should there have been a few events on the 28th, 21st, or any forward-looking date, those would get populated in upcoming events. So all your events can get, kind of calendars can get managed through here. What I see through this is an administration block. Most users would not be able to, would not have this block as in normal site users, because they have no administrative work as it were. So that's the first portion of when you come to the dashboard. Second fold, as it were, brings up the various schools that Elfin Academy accesses, and each school has its own dedicated area for all the learning wear and the learning material. Having said that, we can track participants for, if there are tasks and completion goals and so on and so forth, certain things need to be done. You will see 0% complete here written. That's because we have not put any material which has, trackable goals. But once they have trackable goals, participants themselves can find out how much of a course within the system they have done. Let's say someone from Dune School would see only Dune School, someone from Fab India would only see Fab India. So here in the recently accessed course, because I'm coming in a higher login, I can see all the programs. So every school will have its own, and this kind of image can be customized and so on and so forth. So that's how it appears in the second fold. And third, in the dashboard itself, we have brought in the broadcast and the viewing knowledge. So from wherever, whichever, let's say for your blogs, you're using Blogspot. without without disrupting the system too much, you can continue to use your Blogspot blog thing, and it will automatically get updated here. Same for podcasts. So your Spotify and Anchor FM and so on and so forth would get reflected here when you upload a podcast there. So one can go to the source site itself, as in Fluent Knowledge and as in the podcast site. So I'll just click on one of these. What it essentially does is it opens up a new tab. So let me just share this tab. So the users can then read it from here. So go back to my main tab. So similarly for podcasts, so all your podcasts are here. So that's how we've tried to put in and bring in the podcasts and the blogs into one single place, so that people can look at and read out and read up on the latest which is going on. Should there be others, we could put in probably 2 more blocks here with pullable stuff, as I would call it, from other sites. So let me just take an example of here of if you were to kind of get into our programs for each of these schools, how would they kind of look like? And all of these are subject to change, Sandeep, depending upon how you wish it to look. So we have kept the UI absolutely bare bones and simple. So the idea was that each school, like the Fab India school or the Dune Girls school, would have an introduction here. This can be an introduction where you can write an introduction for all the participants, and it would be pinned right on top. And then we can have each of these programs, like I saw happiness and tolerance. This date is fictitious, though. This I don't know when this got kind of held, this module, but the module video can come up here, as it were, directly from YouTube, and then other learning artifacts can come up for, let's say, happiness and tolerance. Other topics can come in like this, as in there is no material here, but once one material comes in, it will pop up, and all the material for that section would be shown. We have tried to put in a Q&A board here just to show how people can collaborate. There are many ways in which people can collaborate on this platform. We didn't want to push in too many things, so we just pushed in a Q&A board here. But should and this is basically for people to be able to ask questions and so on and so forth. So I just put up a question like, how do happiness and tolerance go hand in hand to create happy teachers? And so someone may get into it with their own login and kind of give a response to this and reply to this question in whatever fashion and post to the forum and the discussion board here. So that's how the settings and all won't be visible to a normal user, because that's my admin login which is showing in this. So having said that, let me just return back. So every course page has a few parts to it. It has navigation. Forget administration, it won't show it to you, and it will show you site links. So should you have any links and so on and so forth to be shown and permanently pinned on the left side bar, we just put in here like link 1, link 2, but these can be activated. Sorry. So having said that, we can get back to the dashboard. And the other schools in this case are, let's say, the two girls school. And the UI, more or less similar. So here what we did was we put up an announcements bar here. So any announcements for the cohort from two girls school can be put up here and picked up here. So that's again one of the features. And then the session goes on by their dates and so on and so forth. So the UI, I believe, is not intimidating any longer, and there's not too much clutter on the screen, and there's not too much to be kind of jolted by. And every user has their own profile views and calendar views and so on and so forth, which is normal for any application. So having said that, I'll return to the dashboard. And Jishnu, if you would like to add anything, please feel free, or we open up the question.
No, it's more or less we have shown this, and as we had discussed with Sandeep earlier, we had kept it as simple as possible. There are, as Sandeep, you're aware, there are infinite bells and whistles which can be kept on adding here. So that can happen, bits and pieces of that can happen much later in the future. Let this be as uncomplicated and as clutterless as possible for people to start getting used to this, make this effective. Then based on requirements and what one needs to do, we'll be able to add those. That's my 2 bits that I wanted to add.
Yeah, thank you. I want to welcome Rajeshri. She joined us. Thank you, Rajeshri.
Good evening. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Rajeshri, just to upspeed you,
Yeah.
We are trying to build a learning assessment management platform for the Learning Forward Academy.
Okay.
See, as of now, we work manually. You may say we use digital tools, but we work manually. We're not connected on one work area, and we don't have a space. Somewhere we go on Telegram, somewhere we go on blog, somewhere we just go all over the place looking for things. So we are here, and I've come into the Q&A section now. So what they have shown us is a dashboard on how we log in. Once you log in, you will go to your school, you will see your upcoming events. If you have done assignments and you've done your course, they will all be there. So everything for an individual will come here. If we have, say, like if we had mandated do 12 assignments, then it's 0% will increase to 100% by 12 assignments.
Okay.
So that will be like a course completion, or you may have any KRAs that by this date you must do this, this and this. You may decide 3, 4. So one can map it to completion levels, because as of now, we don't have a method of encouraging people to move to a milestone.
Sandeep, can I add something here?
Yeah, sure.
If you choose, you can also have competency standards for your courses. So you can say that my teachers need to be competent in XYZ, right? Whatever that competency area is. Let's say happiness and tolerance, just for taking sake. And we can then control if, and you can control if, that competency has been achieved via doing a set of things. And that can be going through some learningware, doing some assignments, doing something else, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to place this on the table.
Absolutely. This is what we will need. Now, going to my list of what I've noted down. The domain will be the same, lfin.academy. That website will give you. So that's sorted out.
Okay, that's sorted, but what I would need from your end, Sandeep, if it is the right time to say this, is I would give you this IP address, and in turn, I would need the IP. I would need to, you need to put this IP address or whoever helps you.
Yeah. No,
Into
we need a C name. We'll need a C name. We'll need A records. We'll do all that for you.
Okay.
We are comfortable in doing that. C name,
Okay.
A records, domain.
I just
3,
need
4.
a name. I just need the A record, and that
Yeah.
should do the trick. So
Yeah.
we'll work that out. Yeah.
Yeah, so we will keep it to lfin.academy because that's the neatest. Learn Elfin Academy, like we've been building on that. I thought this was the best one.
Yes.
Sure. Sure.
And
And we will then plug in an HTTPS from our
yes,
end into this.
absolutely. So we will do that. Second, you have taken RSS feed of Blogger. You have taken RSS feed of the podcast. I also need you to take the RSS feed of the YouTube site.
Okay. So if you could send me that RSS feed link URL, I'll have it pop up here.
Now I can give you the YouTube address. Now
Okay.
we'll have to figure out how we convert the YouTube address into an RSS.
Just a sec. You have a YouTube channel, right?
I have a YouTube channel.
Just I'm doing a quick search.
YouTube channel. See, as far as
RSS feed.
it should be able to pull in. I'll tell you why. Because what happened, YouTube channel was pulled in by a company to create a podcast website for us. They just pulled the whole YouTube channel in it.
Okay, I think we can do it. I'm not very sure, but my search has thrown up how to get hold of the feed. So I will
absolutely.
look this up.
YouTube feed is easy to bring out because what has happened, there's something known as verbal.com, VURBL. Verbal is an audio streaming site. So Verbal, when they started in US, they identified some of us and I happened to be in their list. They asked me that if you have a video channel, we'll convert that into a podcast audio feed.
Could you?
It was easy to do. They did it very well, and they created a whole radio station out of my YouTube site.
Okay. That's nice.
So could you please come up with the URL again?
Verbal. VORBL.
Yeah.
Victory Orange.
VURBL. Verbal.com. VURBL.
VORDL.
I'll just put it in your Telegram.
Okay.
So this is an audio streaming site. It's a very interesting tool. So when you go there, with YouTube is video streaming. Verbal is audio streaming. That is the strength of Verbal.
Okay. So I'm waiting.
I've sent that to you, and I can also add my stations to it, so that you can actually see my stations.
Okay.
So, as of now, what you're picking up is the feed which has been created by Anchor, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So now when I give you from here, 1 minute, I will add this in your. I've added the radio feed, one channel here, and second channel which they pulled in from my YouTube. That's the second one.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah, so second one they pulled in from YouTube, so I'm going to add that also.
Okay.
Sorry, I keep wasting
the first one.
I said I waste a lot of my life doing these new things with new products.
Wonderful, and we keep on learning.
Yeah, so here you've got something. Now this feed can come in here also. Okay,
so I will
that's
work
sorted
on
out.
that.
Now we have talked about RSS feeds. Now RSS feeds are generated when the posting is done on the blogger.
Right.
As of now, how do I get tools like Blogger, podcast, video, G Suite, which are my work areas? How do I get them into LAMP?
Okay. So let me address it bottom up, G Suite first of all, right? So we have a way of integrating G Suite with LAMP, right?
Okay.
So you can have a single sign-on, and we will have to work on that. But you have a way of doing it, and you'll have a single sign-on. So you sign on to LAMP, and you get signed on automatically to your G Suite.
Okay.
So
now the challenge. Every school uses their own G Suite, but they share the document with us in our domain or my email. So, for example, the 3 schools which you have in LAMP at the moment are currently using their own G Suites. So, when the teachers create a document there, they just share it with us.
I got you. So how do they share? They send an email to you?
No, when they share the document, email automatically comes. Like Rajeshri keeps adding me as an editor or as a viewer. I will automatically get an alert. Now, first emails used to come. Now, even alerts come on your Android phones that so and so has shared Google Drive with you.
Yeah. So what will happen here, as far as, and this is, I'm sticking my neck out on this, but this is how it will happen: is we will call your G Suite account the master G Suite account, right? So
yeah, that's how we do it. I mean, as of now, we are doing that only.
Yeah, so your G Suite account becomes the master, right? And we plug that into LAMP, and we have a single sign-on. And since we can, once we have a single sign-on with G Suite, we can access Drive. We can then access, by definition, the files that are shared with you into LAMP. So that is theoretically all possible, but we need to run that once, and see how it maps and where the files get landed and the interface which comes up. So
I'll tell you, I'll add something here. There's something known as Slack.
I know Slack. We use
we use Slack.
Yeah. So when you use Slack, I am getting everything what I want inside Slack.
Correct. So it should be something like that.
That's yeah. I just give you that hypothetical example because that's what I need.
Yes. So what we'll do is we will take your G Suite credentials, and work on this and work on integrating this to LAMP.
Yeah, because when you integrate G Suite to LAMP, I can automatically use Blogger. I can use YouTube. I can use G Suite with the same ID.
Right.
So that way I'm sorted out. Okay. Now my next question. I don't have a chat utility in this.
If you want, we can switch on our chat utility on this.
Yeah. So we will need a chat utility or messaging, whatever you call it. Rajeshri, don't you think that's an important part inside the portal where you can send messages to?
Yes, absolutely.
When you're doing Joy of Learning program, you're doing it across schools. So you should be able to message a group of people also.
There is a chat utility. We have kept it off for this demo. We just need to enable this.
Good, that's sorted out. Now, when you showed me a UI at the admin level, which is what I'm seeing on the screen, can this UI help me create schools, add schools? Like you added the Doon Girls School, Fab India School. Are you going to add them or are we going to add them?
Okay. Typically, what we do here is what we call the managed services. So all the backend work is managed by edTree, so that there is no learning curve and things take place smoothly. Because we know our framework better than anyone else, you know.
Yeah.
So for all the schools that we are implementing, ये backend work हम ही लोग करते हैं. So we will extend the same service to you too.
Okay. See now
But,
in this.
but just a sec in this, if I can add to what Suprati was saying. But having said that, that's the initial part of handholding you while people learn of adding schools. But then there are manuals and all. We are putting them in place so that you'll be able to do that on your own. We are of course there.
Jishnu, we can't hear you. Jishnu, we have lost you.
We haven't lost him. We can't hear him.
We have lost him on Google.
Yeah, we can still see him there. He's very much there.
Jishnu? Jishnu has gone on a blink. Is that
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
now-
audible. Welcome back. Now
Please
you're
don't
unwelcome.
welcome anyone. The moment you say welcome, he disappears.
Yeah, I think you can answer the question. You said that
Yeah.
chat utility is possible. Now I was
Yes.
talking about edit UI. Now let us take this screen. For example, I find you've got school names wrong. So can I edit them or you have to edit them?
No, as Jishnu said, was saying, right, in the initial part, we will do the changing and all, so that it's not
Like
too much of a
customize this
task.
page. Will it come under customize this page?
No, it is actually, it will go to a separate area where
Okay.
from where we have put in this Doon Girls School or जहाँ पे नाम spelling गलत है. So we will just correct it. It's a one thing, and then it will reflect back on this page, because everything is a link which is put together on a dashboard. If you were to really look at it, you know, calendar is a calendar, events is events, but the dashboard allows you to put important things together in one place, you know. So that's how it works. So why we do it is because the way this platform has been structured, we keep a lot of initial control with us so that the structure sanctity is maintained, and you know, we don't start experimenting it with too much, you know. So
Okay,
otherwise, as time goes on, and as we have our manuals and the video tutorials come on, you know, we will you know, pass it on to you, and more video tutorial manuals can be followed to do the changes which one wants.
Okay, last thing. You're talking of competency mapping.
Yes, sir.
I am so glad Rajeshri is here. We also have another knowledge partner with us. They are Talentel.
Yes.
So I was wondering if Rajeshri has seen the Talentel talent management part.
Yes, I
And
have.
what are the competency management goals? Can we learn something from there, or interface it here? I really don't know. I'm talking aloud. Ideally, I would like to interface it here. Maybe you can have a UI API which talks with them. They already have a competency mapping framework. Rajeshri, can you share something about the framework?
Yeah, they've mapped it into like 4 segments where they talk about SMART goals like achieving a certain amount of grades in a class. Then they also have competencies based on concepts, So, like the principal creates those smart goals and smart goals for the vice principal or the HODs, and then the HODs they have those smart goals for their teachers. So, based on their subject specifics, they have given some options which we can pick, choose that what is it that this year we want to work on. So that way, like they have given us a lot of options from where we can create
Yeah.
those smart goals.
What I was keen, Rajeshri, is you show these people by logging in one day, and they can create something like that for us here, because our competency mapping is exceptionally going to look at reading, writing,
Yes,
research, and all the work we do in terms of using innovative schools, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, joy of learning. So, our competency map has to come from that.
yeah. We can
So,
take the design from there,
yeah.
but competencies will be different
Absolutely. Our
from.
competencies will change because we are trying
Yeah,
to improve reading, writing, and research. We are trying to encourage teachers to use technology, and we are trying to make learning inclusive in school. That's the way I look at our whole game.
absolutely.
Now, when we are trying to make learning inclusive in school, which means that every learner has control of their learning, that's where I'm referring to perhaps a good school curriculum.
Yeah.
Sandeep, can I come in here?
Yeah, waiting for you.
Okay. So there are two kinds of competency mapping. Something like talent tell, my hunch is more on kind of talent-based, talent-driven competencies. And here, what we do is you can build, and you took it off from my mouth. In fact, when you have reading skills, writing skills, listening skills, and basic, work skills, learning related. So there's something called Common Core Standards in the US, if you're aware of, CCS, which is at the federal level and also at the state level. Now these competencies are pretty comprehensive by nature. So what we can do is we can build a whole list of competencies collaboratively with you and populate it within the system. And then for each school, we can select a couple of competencies that they work on. And each of these competencies can only be achieved by doing certain things. And those doing certain things, we have to discuss, what are those? Are they assignments? Are they looking at videos? Are they reading up on material or writing an essay or doing a blog or what have you? So I believe the kind of competency tracking that we have right now, and that competency, whether a person has achieved that competency or not, can be controlled automatically based on rules that I must get 5 marks out of 10 in this. Let's say that's grade based, or it can be done manually. So let's say you as a coach can then get in, and based on your evaluation of a cohort's work or an individual's work, you can say, I have, this individual has achieved this competency. So it is available both ways. And I'll give you an addition. You can add that to learning outcomes. So let's say every competency must have 5 learning outcomes, just for the sake of it. So you can even control learning outcomes and say, okay, achieve these 5 learning outcomes, and I know you have achieved competency 1. So all of that can come in, Sandeep.
Yeah, I'm good with what you are saying. I only want you to see two things. One, there is something known as standards of professional learning, which Learning Forward champions for the world, which are under revision at the moment. But we will share with you the last standards. Have a look at those. And second, do have a look at Talented. I'm giving you only from academic reference point. I follow your approach. Your approach is ideal for us, where we specify our teachers to do reading, writing, research, design, production, 4-5 things only. So, and ultimately is to empower teachers to use digital tools to create their own resources. That's our goal ultimately. Rajeshri, am I right in saying that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because our challenge lies, every school of ours is very special. We can't use some tailor-made system to help teachers. So we customize our learning, and we also put an objective to our learning in every school. particularly when we grow onto levels. For example, when we do level 1, joy of learning is very universal. Second, when we go to diversity, inclusion, and belonging, that's a little less universal. And likewise, when we go to building innovative schools, that's very specific as to what the school's requirement are in terms of adapting tools, in terms of using technology, and in terms of creating classroom resources. See, today what is happening? Everyone wants to palm you ready-made resources. So everyone says,
Correct.
"Arey, I have a whole gamut of resources available." Well, it won't work in India. Why? Because there is no uniformity. There are 36 boards. There's 36, no, there are 58 boards, by the way, not 36. So by the time you finish, there's very little you can do in terms of a general structure. All we can follow in common is the SCERT design or the NCERT design. So we're not going to complicate
Correct.
things for us and mess up with the way the academic systems run in the country, but we are only looking at learning systems for teachers. So my only suggestion at the close is that do see, like you mentioned, common core standards, do see standards of professional learning as well as competency mapping of talent, and then give us a solution for competency areas, which is the way you are doing it. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. And Sandeep, if you could share those standards, because what I got out from a quick Google search is the standards which were published, I think, in 2017, which I believe is not relevant. It says standards for professional learning. I have a doc open in front of me.
I will send you ours, but those
Yeah,
standards
please
have,
do.
yeah, but their life cycle has finished in 2020. So they are due to publish new ones. But anyway, they are a generation ahead of us. For us, those old ones are still relevant because we are still using those.
Right. If you do, then I could study up on those.
Yeah, I'll send you the standards. Standards of professional learning, it's very easy. So 1 minute, I'll just add it here.
Jishnu, are you there? Back?
Yes, I'm back. I was always here.
Okay. No, you are
Lost,
not
lost,
there. No,
lost
No,
for
he
lost for
went out
20
and
seconds.
he went out and came in.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, there is a very simple standards presentation where we worked very hard and made it absolutely elementary for us in India to handle.
uh-huh.
For us to handle a whole manual of 200 pages was very tough. So I will give you the bare bone presentation which we use and which our staff is familiar with it. So if you see in your Telegram, you will see a presentation. It's only 249 KB. It's already reached you.
Uh-huh.
So this is the basic one. Now, if you want the whole manual, we can ship that to you. That's not difficult. But I've put the basic standard. This is what the
Received.
standards are
I can
currently.
see it on Telegram.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
Thank
get hold
you.
of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chairman, sir, that's all from my side, and I have done my analysis. Would you like to add something, and then Rajeshri can take over?
Yes, it was. It's about time, since we are growing so fast, that we got everything under one banner, under one roof, instead of, like you said, searching all over the place for various things. So once we have this all under one roof, things will become definitely easier for everybody. And also, I like the idea of where people can give their opinions and give their feedback and things like that. Whichever school is doing whichever programs. But I think Subhadim said that we got to be careful of the sanctity of the whole thing. The sanctity has to be maintained. And we definitely need to work out on a framework for competencies. That has always been a very, very difficult task, because sometimes, there are certain things which people miss out on when they are doing this. And one of the things I've always felt is that this is one of the jobs where there are certain things which are very, very valuable, but you can't quantify them, you know. teachers who do things and make difference to children's lives and things like that, and spend hours and hours, counseling them. And some of the things, can't be quantified. So when we are doing the competencies, I think you got to keep that in mind too. Otherwise, I think, everything seems to be coming together well, and I like the idea of all this being put together. Thank you.
Over to you, Rajeshri.
Thank you, Mr. Dutt. I totally second what Mr. Devgan is saying. And it's like very comforting to see everything on one small little page where I could see that the blogs are here, the podcasts are here. And the way it's developing, I think it's going to be very interesting and looks very user friendly as well. So, looks interesting.
Jishnu, just log out and log in from the home page for Rajeshri. She came in late, and that can be our closing part.
Okay. So, Pratim, you would need to do this because, so Pratim, you share the screen. You need to do this.
Yeah.
So, just let me log out. So, this is the home screen. Incidentally, just the difference would be the top bar changes to the login type. So, this is the landing page, as it were. So you log in from here, and you have this banner running. So this banner can be changed, and as I said, Sandeep should advise us what pictures go in here and what text goes in here. And then we have the PLP programs coming in here, and we have Sandeep's video in here. Other things can come in if required. So this is a very this is where a participant lands on, And then when you press the login button, you're brought to a page. So. And then you give your username. I'm getting in using a higher user, so that's why. So, and that brings you straight to the dashboard. Sandeep, does that do the trick?
Rajeshri has to share her happiness.
Yeah. I mean, the dashboard looks amazing. Very, very user friendly and very seriously, like you don't need to hunt anything anywhere, everything in one place.
Yeah, thank you, Rajeshri. Thank you, Chairman Sir. We also need to thank Rajeshri because we are using the Fab India schools Google for the meet. Thank you for the honor and privilege to use it. I use my chairman demonstration here. Thank you for that. Yeah, you want me to? I think what we will do now, I need to thank everyone, and may I please stop the recording here?
Go ahead. That's fine. That's fine. And would like to thank every one of you